This is the iconic picture of the year. I always choose one to start off with. And of course, it's Helen and Chris dressed up for gold diggers. You volunteers are absolutely amazing in dressing up and giving us publicity. And that might be something to do with the alternative prizes later of people dressing up for us. But that's how our beautiful visitor welcome is when people come into the museum. And I can see why it's such a popular place. So we start off in last Christmas, and I'm not singing last December, you're pleased to know. But people who have joined us this year, this is what you could have had instead of a Zoom. It was lovely last year, and there were some big prizes given out and some new people who joined us. And of course, for people who don't know, Father Christmas always used to come down the front of the museum when Christmas lights switch on with his elf. So we missed all that, but there's a lot more to be put in its place. So that's last Christmas, and now we're looking ahead to the brilliant year we've all had. In January, not all of you come to see all our exhibitions because at different times, but I put this one in because we had this rather steampunky exhibition on at the beginning of the year, and for your delight and entertainment. And we've done quite an interesting year of the year before of rather strange steampunky types things because the steampunkers came into the town. So that's quite just a nice one I put in because it was a little bit odd for us to do, but very interesting and enjoyable. But we always start the year with our 12th night, which celebrates King Alfred coming to the town, and it's a lovely day where the children dress up and have food and generally enjoy themselves. And it's a real shame we won't be doing this year, but last year I can say it was a great success, and we will be bringing it back. And I think Elaine, our engagement officer, will be putting something online for you all to enjoy this year, so we can carry on doing this every year. We've been trying to build it up year after year. January also, we had a small exhibition that was put on by the community group, the Detectorists. It was a difficult one for us because, as you know, museums have lots of qualms about Detectorists, but the Chippenham District and Metal Detecting Club are a really good club who like to work with us, and if they do find any finds, they will tell us about them. So it's very lovely for us to work so closely with us. And the best thing about this, I think everyone would agree, was the sand tray, which this little girl in this picture has here. There was a little metal detector, and the detectorist very kindly filled the sand pit with old coins. And we had a lot of people returning day after day to collect these. But it was wonderful, and we were very careful not to make it seem like a treasure hunt, but rather how you can responsibly be a metal detectorist. So very nice little exhibition. Also in January, we started a couple of clubs, the After School Photography Club and also the Young Archaeologist Club that Elaine was going to lead on. We only managed a couple of meetings before we had to close this year, but we did immediately go online, and the club has remained and has actually flourished. And during the summer, when we were able to reopen, the young photographers came into the exhibition gallery and did some response photographs to the exhibition. Elaine has just restarted this exhibition with club with social distancing from January the 11th. So that's a lovely way to engage with ages 11 to 17, which is always that difficult age group who don't want to really go into a museum, but we trap them here. In February, we'd already had the news at Christmas that we'd got our museum accreditation, which is really important to us. And you probably don't think this was only in February, but we had a little party with this lovely cake that was made for us, for you all, and thank you for helping us get there. And it's really hard to think that this was actually before lockdown, and we had actually no idea what was going to be ahead. But we're very pleased to have that, and it's just the professional qualification to show we're actually doing the right thing, which is always good to know. And February also saw the launch of our Gold Diggers. We've been working for a couple of years on the Gold Diggers project, which was with the Wiltshire College. but the exhibition itself actually opened in February, and like all great shows, closed in March. But we did actually put this exhibition online. So although we were sad we put an awful lot of work into it that we could close, it is online. And as you'll see later, something very good happened about this. But for the couple of months that it was open, it was very, very popular. And as you can see, these little children loved dressing up, and our volunteers enjoyed dressing up. We got a lot of press, and enjoyable for all. And of course we have a brilliant record now of gold diggers, and again, a very, very much a community project. Our friends at the canal come every February half term, and this year wasn't any different. I saw the Canal Trust people yesterday, and they're willing to do something next year as well, but maybe online. But we took over the Yeld Hall for a day and brought the canal to life with all sorts of lovely projects, which was really popular. And again, our pin-up girl there, Helen, and I know Harry came and helped and shared objects. I don't know if Elaine's listening to this, but we did actually make poor Elaine dress up as a washerwoman. Don't know if she's forgiven us yet. But I also
no, I haven't.
She's there. But actually, I think it's a great picture of you, Elaine. And also we made Esme do it as well. So part of the deal, you have to dress up if you come here. February also, we took part in the Fringe February with the arts groups. This was a very nice new idea for the town, which was putting art out onto the streets, really. And it was a really rainy weekend, so a lot of the stuff was brought in. But we had a vintage and vinyl sale at the Yeld Hall, which was a lovely way to use that space. And we might think of using it again for that sort of show. And of course, we had things in the museum as well at the same time. One thing we've been working on is to try and extend what we do away from the children. We've sort of got the children sussed, but to try and do more for adults. And this is one of the saddest things about the closure this year, because we were really getting on top of adult creative workshops. We had been working with our artists and having some quite well-known famous artists coming into the museum to teach people how to do things. And this is our volunteer Clive, who's learning how to make ceramic tiles, and we made Christmas stars, and we've done jewellery. And Elaine and I were talking yesterday about restarting these as soon as we possibly can, because I think we were just breaking even with these, with the cost of materials, but it was working. But it's just whether we can still make it worthwhile with less people in the group. But we are working on that, and hopefully we'll be back next year. This was one of the final things we did before lockdown, and one of the most fun times we had. We joined up with the library to do an 80s quiz night, of course, based on gold diggers. And this is our friend Ollie from Engagement Officer for Wiltshire Council, who joined in as a compere for us. And everyone dressed up, and Rosemary and her husband and her daughter had a little bar for us. This is something, again, we've actually bought a bar from a sort of Hawaiian bar from one of the charity shops, if you didn't come for that night. So we are ready to become a gin palace as soon as we reopen. We're really, really good. But you can see our team are on the right there, and I will remind them that they didn't win, because I haven't quite forgiven them for that, because we do like to win. But Harry is clutching a balloon there, Marion and her husband, and Helen behind. They were almost winners, but the library team, I think they stole it. They must have cheated. And the very last thing we did, the Saturday before we were closed down, we wanted to celebrate Science Week. It's been something we've been meaning to do for a long time. So we had a Science Saturday and had a travelling curator who came and taught us about science. And that was the last thing before the 17th of March, when we closed. Our volunteers we sent home early because you were too precious, and then we had to close. I think we took about a day before we were back online, and straight away with the Friends group and the volunteers, we started museums at home. And it was so lovely because I think everyone was feeling quite isolated and worried. But we were back on Zoom, and our Heritage Cafe started that first Friday, and we all brought an object along to talk about what they meant to us, in the same way you would a museum collection. And it does appear to be a bird there in one of them. That's Albert, which is Elaine's bird. So I think it was our favourite thing. And then very kindly, Ray did some talks on some of the shops in the town, which went down very well. So we were getting sorted online. And the museum also took their photographs, their collections, and anything else they could on Facebook, on the website, so that we could just carry on really as normal. And these three social media projects have actually really worked well for us. Our social Facebook is now well into the 3,000s. We hit our 3,000th member, a friend, a few months ago. And we now have a really good following on social media that we can interact with and get information on and grow the collection. So we did People and Places, that was one every week, and it would be not a very famous person of the town, but somebody who had done something worthy of talking about. This is obviously Commander Wilson for the hospital down at the Neald Hall. So she was somebody who I really wanted to get out there for people to know more about. Then Esme started the caption challenge, that is still going too. And the caption challenge is odd photographs we've got in the collection, and we've had some hilarious responses from people, which is really nice. And Chippenham's Lost Pubs, just sort of a snowboard really. Chippenham has so many old pubs, and the memories that have come in for people has really added to our collection. The Museum at Home got going in March, and in April we took all our activities online. Again, there was children's activities on the website, and well, I don't quite know what we're doing there, Claire, but the only reason I know that's an Easter one is because you've got a bunny rabbit behind you, and Claire always has a very good background. So we joined up to celebrate Easter. And of course, we actually work really closely with you for VE Day, and the Friends and Volunteers had their own very good spot on the VE Day video that has now had about 1,500 watches on YouTube, and it's had 8,000 or so on Facebook. So it has got round there, and people have really enjoyed seeing it. And this iconic picture of us saying cheers with our lovely teacups is on there. We put on a lot of information on the website for people to join in and make things. And we, throughout March onwards, we learned an awful lot about how to make things happen online, which we didn't know before. So we've learned an awful lot. And I think our volunteers and friends have come along with us. And we all know a lot more than we used to. In June, we were really sorry that we weren't able to have our major exhibition of the year, which was the Art Space one. We'd worked really hard with our volunteers, and there's some lovely works that had been given to us. So I think this was Esme and the team worked very hard on getting some videos from our artists in lockdown that were produced by them. We put those on the website. So we had a virtual exhibition going along there, which was really successful. And then Volunteers Week, how could we forget you? Volunteers Week, we did just as we did now. We had our party, and I think Claire has some stats later about how many volunteers you put in last year, but I could say that the time you spend with us is worth 80 to 100,000 pounds if anyone from the council are listening. And just to remind you what volunteers, what you do for us, there's Freddie. It's an excuse to put Freddie in because Freddie isn't joining us today, but Freddie, and he really was part of our team, as were Peggy and her team at the front, and little Alex, who was one of our lovely volunteers who always comes to help us try out things for children. And Claire has working on developing our volunteer opportunities. So as soon as we can, we're asking people to come back and help us in the various ways behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, and to basically eat cake and dress up. So please come back, and remind people who have escaped our clutches to come back. But Volunteer Week is about thanking you, and this today is about thanking you. So thank you. In June, the museum started recording. We were beginning to come back. Lockdown was easing a little, and there was the Black Lives Matter demonstrations, and Chippenham rather did themselves proud with a very well managed demonstration that we collected photographs for, that are now in the collection. And we also went, I think Elaine did this, went round and collected the Black Lives Matters banners that are now on display in the museum. But it's an important time for the country, and the museum has been carrying on collecting, getting oral history recordings, talking to people all through the pandemic to try and record this time that we know is now important history. And so we were going out when we could to collect rainbows and loo rolls. We stole, when all the directions from the government changed, we stole the flag that was flying on the town hall, and we weren't back fully, but Claire came in especially to have her picture taken with the mayor, and to ask people to save things for us for our COVID exhibition, which was going to be later in the year. And my goodness, did we collect a lot. So a brilliant collection. In July, we were getting ready to come back, and of course the first people we came to were and it's Ray and Gillian, who came in to try out the new system and to make sure we were really good to go. And of course Alex and his mum Helen came in to check that everything was safe. So we were able to say to our bosses, we've checked everything out, we've got the tourist organisations, we're good to go. And in August, we were able to open with our long delayed art space exhibition. And this is very important to us, because all these works of art have been given to us by local artists to try and get an exceptional modern and contemporary art collection. And there's a great article in the Gazette and Herald about this. That we're building a very very good collection that is worthy of the area. And there's a book published, you can see, I'll do it here, yeah, modern and contemporary art collection. Do come in and get that. We've also made our own masks and cushions for sale in the shop. So very good exhibition, and it was beautifully presented by Alan. In September, we were still collecting, and we went out with the mayor to rescue, because the only way we can call it, Colin the COVID caterpillar from Fusion Park, which is now in our current exhibition. But it was important to do that because it was such an important thing that the community had done for the area, and it was worthy of keeping. So he's nice and safe at the moment, but he will be going back out in a special resin display in the park as soon as possible. September, we actually excelled our limited knowledge of IT, and managed to work out how to do Heritage Open Days with QR codes, which actually worked really well. So we did our normal Heritage Open Days day, but we chose St Mary's Street with a walk round it. And you can find out about the history of it, and there's our lovely mayor opening it for us there. So thanks to the team and Elaine and Claire for getting that done, because it really moved us along quite a lot in what we can actually do. And in October, it's nearly there, it's only December, I'm going, the new normal Collecting COVID exhibition opened, which is on now. I think it's one of my favourite exhibitions, because it's the history we're living at the moment. There's pictures from the people are taken in the town. There's videos of all the fun things that people did, and it's a great fun exhibition. So please book your ticket to come, and you get the museum safely to yourself for an hour to come. There's more of it. It's lovely. Those little children came when we were allowed to be open, because they designed the T-shirt behind for charity. And as you can see there behind there also, there's the John Cole's Park rainbow and Colin the Kirby caterpillars underneath. There's some street art from the Butts, and all sorts of other bits and bobs that other people have given us, letters from family and newspapers, paintings, poems, all included in the New Normal exhibition, which all be part of our own exhibition. We were also able in October to squeeze in our Chippenham Artists exhibition, which should have been in July, but we were able to put it in. So that's another local exhibition. And in November, we were delighted to be awarded a community engagement prize from what it's called, Elaine, who's it from?
Community Archives and Heritage Group.
There you go, thank you. And the picture on the left is Elaine receiving it. We've had an awful lot of really, really good feedback about this, and again, you can see the lovely exhibitions and videos that the young people had made about the videos. So please go and have a look at that, and it's quite a prestigious award, so well done for Elaine for getting that together. Lovely, fabulous. In November we were sent away and we came back, so after our 2 weeks we've just returned now, with 20% off our lovely Christmas stock. It's still safe to come in. Claire has now put all our stock, she's used her time wisely in lockdown. All our stock now is on online, and we do a delivery service, a free delivery service into Chippenham, so all can enjoy. And I think this next one will just go into last year when Scarlett Moffat turned our lights on, which I just loved. So I'll just play this. After this, next year we are putting on our delayed Kilvert exhibition. It was the anniversary of Kilvert the diarist in the summer, but we're opening in January with the Don Little collection, which is with the Bath textile artists responding to it. So we will remember Don, who is one of our greatest friends and supporters. And it'd be looking at his collection of ephemera and postcards, and the Bath textile artists have responded to it in rather impressive way, an unusual way, but do come in and see it. So this is Scarlett now. Scarlett, speak to me.
Hi, I'm Scarlett Moffat and I am here at the wonderful Chippenham Museum. If you fancy learning some knowledge, get yourself here. It's not just educational, it's also fun. And I am here to turn the Christmas lights on. So if you'd like to do a countdown with us, Mum. 3, 2, 1.
So, happy Christmas from all of us at Chippenham Museum. We'll pass over now, if I may, and introduce my new boss, Matt, who's only been here 2 weeks and is already making a fabulous start, and I'm really looking forward to working with him. And he appears to love museums, which is always lovely. So I'm going to stop share now and over to Matt. Okay.
Thank you, Mel. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, thank you.
Great. It's lovely to be with you today. And yeah, it's just a little bit about myself, really. I've just obviously started the job as Director of Community Services for Chippenham Town Council, which is just amazing, really. I mean, I'm just looking back there on the achievements of this year, absolutely blown away, really, by what you guys have all been involved with. As we know, it's been an absolutely crazy year this year, and I just can't get over how resilient you've all been, and it's amazing. I mean, in terms of my background, my first memories of Chippenham was as basically as a 6-year-old boy, I first came to Chippenham when my dad used to fish in Monkton Park. My only real memory, I've shared this before, was sort of looking at the old swimming pool outside, and I just remember it as a kid. It's a funny memory, but yeah, I can remember that absolutely clear as day. And it's strange now to be back in Chippenham, but it's such a great challenge, and it's such a great place. I'm really looking forward to getting started, and the museum itself is just such a great testament. And basically, when I first started taking an interest in the role, I came to Chippenham in February last year and brought my family. So I've got 3 young boys. I say young, they're 11-year-old twins. I've got a 15-year-old. But on a wet day in February, we were sort of having a look around the town, and I stumbled across the museum. And I came into the museum with my family, and the thing that blew me away really was just how incredibly friendly and a warm reception we were given. Now, we are members of the National Trust as well, and I must say that we've been to a few National Trust properties and we've not been given anywhere near such a lovely, friendly, warm welcome as we were given on that day in Chippenham Museum. And it was just so lovely just to be, it just felt, you know, obviously just to come on in, have a look around, and then had a look around the Gold Diggers exhibition, which I obviously didn't know was there at the time. And it was just such an engaging thing to be involved with and have a look at. So it was really great. So it's obviously, since starting the role, I've got to know the team, who are obviously a real credit. But obviously, you guys have just been incredible. And I think, you know, just the amount of work you've done over the year and the resilience you've shown, it's just been brilliant. Because I think, obviously, like I say, we've been through a totally crazy year, and to see you guys just adapting to going online and also to supporting Mel and the team, it's just been really good. So again, I'm looking forward to next year. I'm really hoping that we've turned a corner. I say that, I touch on wood, but it's obviously we see things in the news. I really believe in we're going to get a brighter year next year. We'll hopefully be able to pull out more and basically just really start getting the actual sort of season back in the museum. I'm really looking forward to what we can do there. I think what has been said to me about you guys is that you really are a community of friends, and it's just really lovely to see that. And I think I've just been so impressed with the way the museum isn't just a museum, it outreaches into the community. And I think that's really where your strength is. You're outreaching to the young people, the older adults, and obviously our older generation as well. And that's a wonderful thing to see. And I'm just really grateful for all of you and everything you do. So I just wish you a really Merry Christmas, and it's great to be on board. Thank you.
So the next section is about thanking you guys, and I'd like to start with a video that the museum team made early in lockdown. So Gold Diggers exhibition had closed. We were doing everything online. We were starting to play with videos, and we thought, how can we? And we were really bereft of, you know, not having our volunteer team with us. We were working.
Bye. Bye.
Oh. Great. So we thought, how can we thank our volunteers? And it was over Easter, and we were looking at things to do with music. So I'm sure you've seen this because you shared it many times, but I will share it again anyway. We created a video to thank you guys, basically that we were never going to give you up.
Very good.
Nice.
Very good.
We would like to present some awards that we think are really important for our what we've done this year and kind of encapsulate everything we've achieved together and just have a bit of fun. So our first award is Museum Publicans of the Year. Every museum has a good publican amongst them. We happen to have an amazing dream team, Mike and Rosie Stone. Oh, here. Who the year hasn't all been about COVID. We did have a few good times, as Mal said, before it happened. And Mike and Rosie, as a lot of you know, they're not actually with us today, unfortunately, but a lot of you know they used to be landlords of the Little George for many years, and also lots of other local pubs as well. They've been volunteering with us for about 2 years. And they ran bars for us as part of our events, which was amazing. So in terms of doing something different with your volunteering, so we had a gin bar for our Museum at Night event, our Gin Palace. And then Rosie and her daughter ran the bar for our 80s quiz night. And actually, when they were running the Little George, that was in Gold Digger's heyday. So they had a lot of familiar faces, I think, at their pretend bar here at the museum. They had back in the day at Gold Diggers as well. So it was really lovely. And we just wanted to say thank you to them for bringing their skills in a different way. Rosie also baked our cake for our accreditation party as well. She's also a very good chef. So I should have done Museum Baker of the Year as well, and she would have got it. Our next award is the Award for Technical Achievements. So I think everyone deserves an award for technical achievements. I don't think I do, based on that performance just then. But we would like to, I think, award this to none other than Peggy Burgess. Who mastered Zoom with help from us and Helen as well. Thank you. And you're on Zoom, Peggy. Are you enjoying your new freedom online?
Absolutely. Well,
and Peggy mastered this. Peggy mastered this just in time for our VE Day video, where we spoke to Peggy about her memories of her childhood in Chippenham on VE Day, which you can see here, which she dressed up for the occasion. Surprise, surprise. So thank you, and thank you to all of you for bearing with us with technology and just adapting and going with it. So we really appreciate it, and it means that we can see all your faces still, because we miss you terribly. Our next award is the Best Dressed. So as you might have gathered from Mel and from your experience, we love dressing up, don't we, at the museum, on any occasion at the drop of a hat, literally. And this year has been no exception. We haven't had any events, but we've had lots of themed Zooms, haven't we? And I would like to award this. It's a joint award, actually. I couldn't choose between. It's 2 double acts. So we've got the Storers and we've got the Lines. Who fully embrace. I think we have the Storers with us, don't we, today?
Yeah, I do. Graciously accepted, thank you.
Yeah, just a wonderful effort, and I hope our Zooms gave you a bit of a focus for the week to dress up for, and it certainly did us. We thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you. Our next award goes to Best Pet.
Ready?
So, like I said on Zoom, we've seen each other's. I should have done Best Living Room, shouldn't I? Really, because we've seen all of that. But we just had to award this to our favourite little friend, Albert.
Albert graciously accepts.
I was like to say, would you like to speak on Albert's behalf, Elaine, of how?
I'm speaking on his behalf. He graciously accepts, and then he'll probably hiss at you.
He squawked a lot, didn't he, at the beginning? I think
yes, he did squawk an awful lot, and he still squawks a lot.
So we then wanted to give recognition to our editor-in-chief of the Friends of Chippenham Museum's newsletter, which is obviously, she says, Marion. So thank you, Marion. Marion did an amazing job of getting 2 issues of Friends of the Museum's newsletter out during lockdown. So she didn't let other magazines stop press, but the Friends didn't. So she rallied everyone together, got news stories together, got information off of us, put it all together, got it ready to send out, and hopefully it gave you all some reading and a bit more of an idea of what's been going on. So thank you, Marion. Where are you?
I'm here, thank you.
Oh, well done. And there's a lovely photo of you both there on VE Day. So
There is a mayor waiting.
yes, I've just let her in.
Okay, thank you.
Our next award goes to the first volunteer back. So we're slowly welcoming you back, and thank you to everyone who has said they want to come back. A lot of you maybe are thinking about coming back after Christmas, and that's absolutely lovely because we miss you terribly. We're a team of 5 staff, but you know, there's potentially 50 of you that make up our museum family. And our first volunteer back goes to Cynthia.
Ooh. Well
Thank you,
done.
everybody.
So thank you, and it was lovely to. I think you were very glad to be back, aren't you, Cynthia?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Brilliant. That's absolutely lovely. And I think so that was on the 31st of October, and then later that afternoon there was a second lockdown coming, didn't we? So that didn't last very long. But but you were back with us this morning, so all is well. And yeah, we just look forward to carrying on along that tradition in the next couple of weeks. And then our final award goes to, in the alternative awards, goes to Museum Ambassadors of the Year. So I think this is something we should continue actually next year.
Yes,
so
definitely.
you guys are our voices out into the community, really. So we know that you take the stories that we look at and the events that we do out into the community and tell everyone about them for us, and are our biggest champions, really. So we thank you for that, because we couldn't get as far as we do without you. So and you are all very willing to get involved in all sorts of mad plans that we have, sometimes at short notice, which we are really grateful for. So our 3 museum ambassadors of the year are, drum roll.
Should be a drum roll.
Excellent. So we've got Helen and her son Alex, and we've got Harry. So Helen gets involved in all sorts of things with us.
Literally all sorts.
Literally all sorts, from singing. So a lot of you are in, I think all sorts are referred to as our house choir, aren't you?
Yeah.
So from dressing up as pirates and singing to you're in our exhibition at the moment with your song. So and then you very kindly came in. We were making a video about opening and our new procedures and kind of showing people that it was all fine. You and Alex very kindly came in and allowed us to film you enjoying the museum. So we really appreciate it, and look forward to other things we can do together next year and other plans. So sounds good?
Yeah.
Thank you. And then Harry, wow, Harry just gets involved in all sorts as well. I mean, most notably this year in February, the pancake race, which we take part in every year, don't we, Mel? We're quite competitive.
Never win though.
We never win. No,
We were beaten by the.
Next year, that's like it.
We have got rid of the street pastors this year.
We were beaten by the street pastors. We never forgave them, did we? But
No. You bumped us, Matt.
Harry, I mean, look at Harry here, dressed up with us, fully involved. It was pouring with rain, wasn't it? Where are you, Harry?
Yeah, I remember.
It's having
That's why he's still
flashbacks of it. But I've also called you ambassadors because you two, I see that you talk about us on Facebook and Twitter quite a lot and share things that we've got going on, and we really appreciate it. So you represent us in person and online, and we're just so grateful to all of you for what you do for us. Our final ambassador, as an aside, she was a volunteer for a day, is Edith.
Oh, brilliant.
Lovely.
Oh.
Edith is a local family who we've known for a long time coming to the museum. She's been coming, as she says, all her life, all that time. to the museum, and we are starting to look at our visitor development and evaluating our visitors and finding out what the museum means to them and how we can share that and build on it for next year. So we're doing lots of developmental work at the moment. And we thought, who can we get in to ask about the museum from a child's perspective? And Edith has her own vlog. She's a vlogger.
Wow.
And so her and her mum came in and made a video about the museum and what they enjoy. And it was just far better than we could ever have imagined, really. And we shared it for that National Kids in Museums Day. And how many views has it had, Mel?
Oh, 5,000.
I need is explained. I'm 5. Today I'm going to take you to one of my favourite places. So come on, let's get ready and go. Today I am explaining all about this town museum. Before we go into Chippenham Museum, we are going to Anti-Bac or Haverford. Everybody that can wear more cats wear more, even Nelford, the King and the Anglo-Saxon. I'm going here to see lots of artifacts and learn. One thing about the museum, I love coming and seeing my friends here. I love meeting new friends. The staff always are helpful and answer all our questions. This place is preserving local history even these days. And so when we grow up, our kids can learn about what happened these days. Lots of kids and lots of grown-ups can learn here. Now let's see some of my favourite things in the museum. There's always something fun to do, even dressing up.
Very exciting moment of our long service awards for our volunteers, and I'm very glad to welcome Chippenham Mayor, Councillor Teresa Hutton. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
No problem at all. Thank you for inviting me. And I got to finish work early so that I could be here. So that's got to be a bonus, hasn't it?
Absolutely.
It's nice to see so many of you on the screen. I'm really sorry that you can't have the party that you normally have with drinks and food and lots of merriment. But as we all know, this has been such an extraordinary year this year and continues to do so. So it's great that we are, able to meet up, even if it is virtually. So I'm here to do the Long Service Awards, of which there are quite a few. But I firstly wanted to say that as a town council, we're extremely honoured that we have so many people that want to support us and give up their time freely to support this gem of a museum that we have in the town, with which we're immensely proud. And I think as volunteers, you take ownership of and are immensely proud as well. And I also wanted to say, it doesn't matter whether you've been a volunteer for 1 day, 1 month or 1 year, you are all really appreciated by all of the town council, and I know the museum staff. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you, regardless of how long you've been volunteers with us. So that note, we're going to be moving on to the 5 years long service awards, and this is to people who joined back in 2015. I don't know about you, that doesn't seem 5 minutes ago, let alone 5 years ago. So the first one that we are going to be celebrating and thanking today, and I don't know whether he's on our screen, is David Shockley.
But that's his certificates.
Yes.
Oh, I'm free.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done, David. Just going to give you a little bit of background on David, and I'm sure you all know him far better than I do. But David and his guide dog, Freddie, are always very welcoming and interested in all our visitors who come to the museum. They like to know where they've travelled from, and David has a huge host of historical knowledge that cannot be faulted. He's often also a source of very interesting facts and anecdotes, which I know goes down a storm with our visitors. Another in David and Freddie's hats is that they volunteer for the Guide Dogs for the Blind, and they do lots of fundraising at local events. So next time you're out and about and you see David and Freddie, please do go over and say hello to them, as I'm sure they'll be really pleased to speak with you. So David, even if you're not with us, many, many thanks for your long service, and we do greatly appreciate all the time that you and Freddie have given to our museum. So I think, should we give him a virtual round of applause anyway, even if he's not here? Thank you.
We are recording this part, so we can send it to them.
Oh, are you? Oh, lovely, lovely. That'd be nice that we can play it back then. I think we also, for the 5 years long service, we've got Richard Bishop.
We have Richard here.
Do we have Richard here?
We did. I'm just checking my list. Richard, are you here? He was here. I don't think. I think he might have gone.
He might have gone. Oh well, never mind. At least it's being recorded. So Richard has been a trustworthy and reliable volunteer for the last 5 years, and he's gradually taken on the role of the Yield Hall keeper. And you can usually find him there most Saturday mornings, where he welcomes visitors. And we'd really like to thank Richard for all his enthusiasm, for getting involved, and we look forward to welcoming him back in the new year as well. So thank you, Richard. And like I said, we'll give you a virtual round of applause as well. Thank you. It amazes me. We've got people who have given so much of their time for so many years to our wonderful museum, because we're now moving on to the 10-year-long service awards. So this is people joining since in 2010. And the first one on our list is Iris Potter.
Don't have her with us.
I don't know whether Iris is with us today.
No.
No, no. Well, anyway, Iris.
Iris.
We wanted to thank you for your 10 years service. You're always very warm and friendly to all of our visitors to the museum. And she's one of the group of ladies that come over from Castle Lodge, which is just across the road from the museum. Along with Richard on a Wednesday, they make a very formidable, wonderful team. So we want to thank you, Iris, for all the time that you have given to our museum. So I think if we can do have Iris a big round of applause as well, that would be lovely. Right. And here we go. We're now moving on to 15 years long service. So, you know, as a museum, we must be doing something right if people stay with us for so much time. Is it the cake, Mel? Cake. You can't go wrong with cake, can you? So the first of our recipients for the 15 years long service is Margaret Hancock. Is Margaret here?
No, but we will pass on the video to her.
Lovely, that would be great. So Margaret joined the team back in 2005, and over the time she has greeted thousands of visitors to the museum, and she will have seen a huge amount of changes over that 15-year period, and I hope, as you will all agree, we've changed for the better, and we've got some really wonderful things that have been developed. So she's also one of our Castle Lodge ladies from just across the road. There must be quite a little group of them.
Yes, there is.
Which is lovely, and I understand that Margaret's always happy to stand in where she can for others, and that she's been a huge, great support to the museum over the last 15 years. So we'd like to give her a really rousing round of virtual applause. Thank you. Right. Also here to receive a 15 years long service award is Pam Ellis.
She's not a Zoomer either, but
right, okay. Well, maybe there'll be some way that in the new year we can socially distance, perhaps meet, that I could perhaps personally hand over their certificates.
Lovely.
Yes, I'm sure that's, I'm happy to do that with anybody, even if they're on here, virtually or not. I'm more than happy to meet up in the new year if anybody wants to meet with me. That won't be a problem. So Pam also joined in 2005, and she's been a great service to the town in welcoming the visitors during that time. And it's also worth noting that not only supporting the museum, Pam is a very hard-working volunteer for the RNLI, which is another great charity, and she can often be found in Emery Gate several times a year with her store selling things. Obviously that probably would have been post-COVID, so we do welcome that Pam still finds time to come and support the museum with her volunteering as well. So once again, if we can give Pam a virtual round of applause, that would be fabulous. Thank you. You're all so cooperative today. It's really weird doing this, and I think you probably find that as well. But I think we're all getting used to now being videoed and being on the Zoom in a little square. Certainly as a councillor, we're beginning to get used to this in many ways. But nothing beats actually being able to meet personally, does it? I think you'll all agree. So we're now going to move on to 20 years long service. I mean, that is a fantastic achievement. It really is. And that goes to the lovely Ray Alder. Oh, hello, Ray. I can see you with your festive hat on. I have got my festive jumper on, but you can't see it because of the mayoral chain. So Ray has been a source of endless support to the museum, and he's acted up in many roles over the past 20 years. And both he and his wife, Jill, I can see Jill as well. Hiya. They're excellent researchers and extremely friendly and approachable to work alongside, and I certainly know that our museum staff really value them as well. Ray is one of those that can often be found behind the scenes. Are you a shrinking violet? Are you a little shy, Ray? Because I think his forte is researching, and he's got a particular fondness for books in the Chippenham Studies series about the Wilson-Barts Canal, and he's doing an upcoming title about Chippenham's Unity and Loyalty at Hospital, which I'm looking forward to reading because I'm sure that will be really, really interesting.
Unity.
Yeah, and you know, because as you know, many of you won't know, I actually work in my day job up at Chippenham Hospital, so I'm looking forward to that one. Ray has also been chair of the Friends of the Chippenham Museum for the past 8 years, and he's led the committee through some excellent projects and achievements. And we just really want to thank you, Ray, for all your support, and we look forward to working with you for more projects in the coming future. So Ray, once again, many congratulations, and you really do deserve a big round of applause. And finally, but not, we move on to the Lifetime Achievement Award, and this is going to Anne and Derek Brinkworth. Hiya, I can see you both down there. You look very festive, Anne, with tinsel in your hair today. Anne and Derek have been at the heart of our, the museum and all we do here for many years. And they both have a very welcoming attitude to visitors of the museum, which I know is greatly appreciated. Anne has also been secretary to the Friends right from the start up until fairly recently. So we thank you, Anne, for all your long service. Anne is also a very talented crafter. And I know a lot of you've enjoyed learning about her lace making and some of the other projects that she's done over the years.
Yeah.
Yes. Both Anne and Derek are extremely dependable. It does, doesn't it? Do you come to heel as well? You know,
nobody comes to heel.
They're a wonderful double act on a Friday afternoon at the museum. So they have such complete knowledge between the two of them about Chippenham's history and about its people too. And so we really are so thankful for everything you've done, for the time that you've given. And I hope you continue to support and give your time, because you clearly enjoy it. So you two both really do deserve a huge round of applause for the lifetime achievements.
Thank you so much, Teresa. That's
no
been
problem.
Wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. And it really matters that you spare the time to come and speak to us. And we've so much enjoyed working with you too, as our mayor and chair of ACL and all the other things you do for us. So thank you also. So round of applause for Councillor Teresa Hutton. Thank you.
Thank you. You'll make me blush now.
Thank you. So now we're passing over to the ever wonderful Ray and Jill, who have a quiz for us. And any technological problems are theirs now. So
thank you very much, Matt. Going to be a bit of speed quizzing, so there's no Googling on this at all, please. We'll go through, there's a selection of questions, and what I suggest is you mute your mics, because you don't want other people to hear the answer, do you?
I can mute everyone, Ray. Shall I do that? I'll mute everyone.
Right. Okay. I won't mute you. But don't mute me.
No, well, you might have to mute yourself, unmute yourself.
I'm back again. Can you hear me?
You're back in the room.
I'm back in the room. Right. That's it. There are some favourite questions. There are some new questions and some local questions as well to test you. So here we go. 16 questions. There's a total of 24 points. So if you've got your pen and paper ready, 24 points is to aim for. We'll see who gets them. Right, the first question then. Who was the uninvited guest to the 878 New Year party in Chippenham? The Christmas party, or the New Year party even? Okay, to move on then. Which Christmas carol was originally written in Latin, and my Latin's not very good, as Adesta Fidelis? Adesta Fidelis. Adesta Fidelis.
Feliz Navidad.
That's the one. Thank you. And that's Salisbury Cathedral in the background, if you're wondering. Right. Which Harry Potter character said one can never have enough socks? Another Christmas has come and gone, and I didn't get a single pair. People will insist on giving me books.
Oh, dunno.
And you might recognise the photo. On to the next one then. 1954. And no, I wasn't quite born. Advert in the local paper. But where was Mr. Bevan's shop in Chippenham? Got that one? Now, which well-known Chippenham fishmonger was born on Boxing Day in 1873? All right, for that next one, Chris has just arrived. Oh, Chris is looking at the question now. What year was the Queen's Christmas speech first broadcast on TV? And I believe that's last year's speech. So I want the year that she first appeared on the telly at Christmas. So, does mistletoe only grow on apple trees? Simple yes or no. Now it's the football one. At the Christmas fixture with Bashley FC in 2008, Chippenham Town FC's David Pratt entered the record books for what reason? Right, next question coming up. Who introduced decorated Christmas trees in 1840? And the next one. Another advert from the local paper, this time 1940. And it's the Chippenham Co-op Society. I remember my aunt getting the divvy. But Christmas 1940, Co-op building. What's in that building now? How many presents were given in the 12 days of Christmas? Get your calculators out now. Name the 8 reindeer listed in the 1823 poem The Night Before Christmas. I want all 8, and I want 1 point for each correct one. So this is a big one. If you know them all, you could be a winner. Who started his diary on New Year's Day 1870? Now, can you tell me the local property that's hosted the Community Christmas Tree Festival? Okay, on to the next one now. What's the next line? The playing of the merry organ. And then finally, another musical question. Are you hanging up a stocking on your wall? That's the opening line from which Christmas song and who's it by? You get a point for the song and a point for the artist or the musician. Okay, we can unmute now if you like.
78.
Ray?
So who thinks they've got 24 answers right then?
I didn't hear number 3 and 4 because I had to nip out. Are we allowed another look, or does that matter?
Sorry?
Are we allowed another look at question 3 and 4? Please?
Hang on, 3. I haven't got just for Chris.
Just the answers, thanks.
Harry Potter. Once Harry Potter's thing.
3.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that one anyway. Thanks.
Christmas 1954, Chris. You got that one?
Yeah, thanks.
That one though.
Right. Now, was there anybody else that was taken short like Chris and wants another question? Right. Okie doke.
Didn't actually know the answer to those two either, so that was a disaster.
So we've now got the answers. As I say, this is a quick fire round, so you've not really had a chance to Google the questions. Are you ready to go through the answers?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Okie doke.
Did I put them right? Yeah.
The uninvited guest was
Not wrong.
from the Viking.
Oh,
Hooray!
I've got one.
And in 878, I thought, I just feel it's a bit unfair because Alfred and his friends were enjoying Christmas. Guthrum didn't do Christmas because he wasn't a Christian, so in he came and attacked Chippenham.
Good.
So 1 point for Guthrum, 1 point for Viking, 1 point for Danes, whatever. If you've got something like that, you get a point.
He had a good taste in towns. He wanted it so badly.
He did. That Latin phrase that I'm not very good at saying is actually "O come all ye faithful." I'm sure you all got that, didn't you?
It wasn't Feliz Navidad then.
Yes.
Damn it.
The Harry Potter character was Dumbledore.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, well done, somebody.
Yeah.
I think
And of
that's that
course,
one.
that is the what's that pot? That was that.
Well, it was at Snakes.
Yeah.
It featured in the film.
Yeah, that pot features in the film.
Yeah.
Right. Mr. Bevan's shop was at 47 Marketplace. If you said Marketplace, that will do me.
Oh, excellent. I got one right. All right.
No, he's got one right.
Right.
He's got one right, yeah.
Number 5. It was that well-known character Joe Buckle. There's quite a bit of information about him in the museum, and that little trade card that I put on there, that was his shop. And of course, it's all been knocked down now, but I think it looks like a really quite interesting shop in High School.
For John,
So,
it was a beautiful shop.
Joe Buckle for 1 point.
Can I have a point for Mr. Buckle?
Yeah, Mr. Buckle. Yes.
Pushing it a bit. Pushing it a bit.
Oops, I've gone backwards. What year was the Queen's speech? 1957.
Yes. Oh, yes.
Hooray!
What'd she do 53 then? Did she not do it?
54.
Radio.
Radio.
57 apparently.
Oh.
I was too young to remember, but I was there apparently.
Even a twinkle
Right.
then.
Yeah. Mistletoe only grows on apple trees. True or false? Well, it's false.
Yeah.
But it got you thinking, didn't it?
I don't know the football one. Oh, dear.
Right. The football question, and this is quite interesting, really. It was the fastest red card in the history of football. 3 seconds from the start.
Really?
So if you're a football fan, you should have got that one.
No, not really.
I didn't know it.
Unfortunate surname as well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
He could have been.
Right.
Alder.
And this is an old favourite. Who introduced the Christmas trees in 1840? Well, it was Prince Albert.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't far wrong.
And
Yeah.
if you put down Victoria's husband, get a point as well.
David Beckham.
Yeah. Looks like you've got help there.
Yeah, I need help.
Christmas 1940 co-op. The building is now Wilkinson's.
You know Wilkinson's, don't you? You
If
like getting
you go
sweets
to
in there.
Wilkinson's, stand across the road and look up. There's above the shop. There's like a sign. It's a stone
Do you know,
plinth thing, and it says Cooperative Society on it. So that was the co-op. And I remember the co-op from when I was younger. Right, the answer is 364.
Yes.
And I've put the calculation down as well, just in case somebody wants to argue. David, does it look right? Because you're the treasurer.
Thanks.
I've no idea. I thought it was going to be some factorial thing or whatever, but there you go.
I know what I've done wrong now. Yeah.
Right, name the 8 reindeers.
Dasher,
Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen. If you had Rudolph, it was wrong because he was a 20th century invention.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh.
6.
I've got 8 there, haven't I?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Cool. When you said 7, I was worrying a bit there. Right.
I know I only got 6.
And don't forget, it's a point for each correct one. So who started his diary on New Year's Day? Well, we spoke about him earlier.
Kilvert.
Franz Kilvert.
Kilvert.
Never did it. I didn't know you were saying that.
I did. Sure.
And unlike most people who start a diary on New Year's Day and then finish after about a month, he kept on going, didn't he? Quite impressive, really. Right. Name that local property that's hosted the community Christmas tree festival. That was Lake Og Abbey. And they, for a few years running now, they've done a community Christmas tree festival. and it's really worth seeing if they have it, because all the community groups do things, and it's quite innovative ways of dressing a tree. That's just one photo of one of the trees 2 years ago, I think. And then what's the next line? The playing of the merry organ, sweet singing in the choir.
No.
It's from the Holly and the Ivy. So if you got that, I'm very impressed. Oh, thank you.
That was free.
Right, and the final question.
We sing. And finally.
It was Merry Christmas, Everybody by Slade.
Yes.
Oh.
Sing that.
And I'd love to say I'm just a bit too young to remember them, but I'm not.
Don't remember.
So that is the quiz.
Oh dear.
All 16 questions, 24 possible points.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
So, I mean, we'll trust you all to add your own. We can't swap papers, of course, but did anybody get 24 points? Oh dear.
This, Ray, is the prize a copy of your book?
Sorry?
Is the prize a copy of your book? It might affect the answers.
Yes, that's, or the prize could be that, yes.
Nobody's got any points.
Anybody got 23 points?
Oh.
22 points?
No.
Oh dear. 21 points?
No.
Lower.
Oh dear.
Lower.
20.
Lower.
19.
No.
18.
No.
17.
No.
Start the engines. 17, 16.
60. I've got 16.
How many?
Derek and Anne.
16.
No.
I've got 16.
16.
And Alison as well.
Oh, brilliant.
Brilliant.
I'm
So what's it? I'll
14.
write those down.
I got 15.
Oh.
I got 14, but I
Well
wrote
done.
2 of the questions.
Well done to all of you.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Ray. Can you
Okay.
stop the show? You've actually caught up time beautifully, so I do think we'll have to go now, which is a shame.
Yes, I
But,
know. Can I just say, you know, before we do go, thank you to all the friends and the committee and, you know, the friends for all our support.
so thank you so much, everyone, and happy Christmas!
Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.